tonight, but prior to that, we are going to take a minute to celebrate all the really awesome work that has happened tonight. And so we want to call up somebody who has been a really, really important part of Camp Trans to talk about this. Sean?
Thank you, Jack. So this year I've sort of like been the festie welcome wagon. Like anytime I see a festie, or like I spend a lot of time at the Welcome Center, and I was just kind of waiting for festies, and I just loved telling them the story, trademark of the events that have happened in the past few days at Camp Trans. And every time, you know, I would just tell it, and their faces would just be like, whoa. And so I was asked to come up here and tell the story that I was telling to all the festies. So yeah, here goes. I'm just imagining all of you with like orange armbands and like a look of this on your face. Orange armband! Woo! Okay, so it started out with, okay, so Lorraine, who is our fabulous and fearless leader, action organizer, she's, you know, got long blonde hair and like oval owl glasses, or not oval glasses, but owl glasses. So she's a trans woman, and she went onto the land and she asked, hey, I'm a trans woman, may I please have a ticket? And they were like, here's this policy, and she looked at the policy and she's like, wait a minute, it says 25th anniversary. This is way outdated. Can I please see an updated version of the policy? And they were like, much walkie-talkie fervor, and then they're just like, we're sorry, yoink. This is wrong, this is outdated, and they took it away from her, and, you know, apparently all the copies were rounded up and burned later. And, you know, which is kind of odd, but symbolic, but odd. And they said, you know, come back and we'll sell you a ticket. The next morning, we all got up. She went back, she said, hi, I'm a transsexual woman and I'd like to buy a ticket. And they said, okay. And Visa or MasterCard, exactly. And she went in. And in Jess's words, they had lunch and they went shopping. Trans woman on the land, out, open trans woman sold a ticket at Michigan Women's Music Festival. Hello! So that's when like all the festies' mouths would go, like, what? What? No, what? Wait, what? And I'm like, yeah. And then, so what I said about later that night is that, you know, she went topless, she bought a Michigan shirt, she bought some merch from Babeland. You should buy some merch from Babeland, by the way, because they're really great. And they're all like, oh yeah, totally. And, you know, and then we were met by a letter from Lisa Vogel. And what I said was, you know, the gist of the letter was that, you know, this letter is not for publication or reprint. It began with, Dear Lorraine, then we understand that you were on the land, and then it went on to say, you know, there is not now nor has there ever been a policy excluding trans women from the land. And then I would do a dramatic pause and wait to see the register of wait a minute on their face. And then and I was like, yeah, I know. And then I said, you know, but there's an expectation that Michigan Women's Music Festival is populated by women-born women who are born as women and raised as women. And, you know, basically, you know, and then that it wasn't signed and it was just her name, and they were all just like, what does that mean? And I said, you know, and after that, everybody was around the fire, and they all said, wait, you know, Lorraine, you have to go back on the land. And some said, well, not unless it violates your personal safety. And the fire was huge, and it was just like, and Lorraine was standing at the head of the fire with her amazing staff, her Irish staff, with her long blonde hair, and her glasses were, you couldn't see her eyes because nothing was reflected besides the flames. The fire was reflected in her glasses, and smoke was billowing up and blowing her blonde, I said this to everybody, and it was blowing her blonde hair, and she just said, please, and everybody stopped, and she said, I'm not going to make this decision tonight. Whatever decision I make will be after a good night's sleep, after I've reflected on the day. But whatever I do, it won't be out of self-interest. and it won't be about what's best for me and what's best for my personal safety. It's going to be about what's best for women and what's best for the women's community, and whatever is right for the women's community is what I'm going to do tomorrow. And everybody was quiet. There were some sniffles. Definitely from me. Everybody was quiet. And then the next morning, we were informed at our morning meeting that she would wait a day, write a letter to Lisa Vogel informing her that she would be coming to the gate at 10:30, and she would be walking in, and that Jess and a bunch of really awesome people like Sailor were going to rally the troops and try and get as many supporters to the gate at 10:30 to meet her and rally support and love around her as possible. And at which point people were like, oh wait, that happened and I didn't go, or, you know, and I was like, oh. And yeah, and that happened, and they went in, including Amelia, who was also an out trans woman, and went in. And that was pretty much the gist of the story. And it was amazing telling it to these women over and over and over again, and seeing this look of jubilance on their face. I'm like, wait a minute, and then what's next? And us talking, and them smiling, and me smiling, and it was just happy, and I was just happy, and it was amazing. So, yay! And I feel so honored that I got to tell this story to so many festies, and I got to be the one to be like, we declare victory! I mean, there's still a lot of work to do, but there you go. So thank you guys so much, and please become part of the team-friendly welcome committee, which I will be heading up next year as a welcome organizer. So if you're super friendly, like, become part of it, okay? And check the personals board, because there's not much personals action, and nobody's responded to my ad.
I'll respond to your ad.
So I have just a couple more announcements.